I'm 13 First Alert meteorologist Eric Dahlman. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. We've certainly had our fair share of wet weather starting yesterday morning and continuing throughout the day today. That said, here's a look at some rainfall reports through this morning. Our high is coming out of Winona, Minnesota, picking up 4.34 inches of rain there. Trempealeau not terribly far behind, 3.52 inches. Meanwhile, in Warrens, we have had 2.25 inches of rainfall. Ellsworth at 2.16 inches. Here at the station, we have picked up 1.78 inches of rain thus far. Up in Thorpe, they've had 1.63 inches, just shy of 1.30 inches in Menominee. Chippewa Falls and Medford, pretty similar. One of our lower spots is Chetek, as they've only picked up 0.7 of an inch thus far. Again, that not accounting for the rain that we've seen this afternoon. That said, we have actually had some sunshine through the afternoon hours, and that was just enough. Despite those high temperatures up into the 70s, we've reached up to a high of 78 in Eau Claire. Check out Viroqua. Yes, they topped out into the upper 80s this afternoon, and if you've stepped outside at all, feels downright muggy out there, as we do have those dew points well into the 60s. Even some locations at this hour seeing those dew points into the tropical 70s. Well, here's a look at what we are tracking through the first full week of summer. It's going to get off to a warm and muggy start, as we are going to see the return of southerly flow. That's going to drive those temperatures above average into the 80s. And yet again, we are going to be dealing with the humidity. Meanwhile, by Monday evening, as a warm front does work in from the west, that may produce some severe weather. As it stands right now, the Chippewa Valley is under a level 2 out of 5 slight risk, meaning that scattered strong to severe storms are possible. All severe threats currently look to be in play, as we are going to have sufficient instability in the atmosphere. We're going to have abundant low-level moisture, but there is some uncertainty being a couple days out. So be sure to keep it here as we give you a first alert to those changes. And then later this week, those temperatures are going to be quote-unquote cooling off, but still very mild into the upper 70s. As we check out satellite and radar, here's the area of low pressure in that stalled out warm front that's been in place really the past couple of days, ushering in that moisture. But going into tonight, both of these features are going to slide away to the east. Notice that we are drying out here locally, and that trend is expected to continue. I'm certainly not going to rule out a couple isolated to perhaps scattered showers through the early half of this evening, but later tonight we do dry out, mostly cloudy skies, and there's going to be a lot of moisture in place with all the rainfall we've seen. So that will lead to favorable conditions for some patchy fog to maybe develop tomorrow morning. Just be mindful of that if you are going to be out on the roadways. From there, we do have decreasing clouds giving way to sunshine through the rest of our Sunday. Later in the day, with weekend stability developing, there could be a pop-up shower, maybe a thunderstorm, but these look to be pretty sparse in nature. Most places are going to stay mainly dry. And then for tomorrow night, we are going to have a mostly clear sky, maybe some fog out the door Monday morning. From there, high pressure takes hold, and that will give way to plenty of sunshine as we kick off the new work week. As for those lows tonight, those are largely going to fall down into the 50s across the area. For tomorrow, seasonable, those highs anywhere from the upper 70s into the low 80s. As we do check out your 7-day forecast, on Monday we're at a high of 85, 86 there on Tuesday. A lingering shower or storm possible early, but I do think much of the day is dry. And then there's those cooler temperatures later in the week, highs into the 70s, with our next chance of showers and storms arriving on Friday. That's a look at your forecast. I'll have more tonight on WEAU 13 News at 10.